when it comes to, creating the policies that we talked about at the beginning-ish of this conversation, and then figuring out the processes how the government can use and also invest in open source projects. Does the government have like any kind of a central group or organization like an open source program office who's helping with this, or is it happening per agency and per different departments of the government?
Like I mentioned before, there was this National Strategy Office, and they were kind of like coordinating this movement. And they were the ones that actually built this repository of open source technology built by the government that could be reused by the government. So they would be kind of like maybe the ones doing it at the time. We were doing it kind of like our own thing and creating these relationships with open source organizations, and I think at the end we even became a member of Open Infra and this work with MIFOS. But those are kind of like the ones that I'm aware of. How will that be shaped now within this new national agency that's being built, that's being developed? And they should start. The decree has been issued last week, and they start work on the 1st of January. So how they're going to take this and how they're going to mold it and keep on launching it, I think is going to be very interesting. But yeah, those kind of like are the ones that I'm aware of at the moment.
So that there was that central organization, it wasn't just sort of in charge of the technology side, but also the concept of whether or not it is open source and how that is being applied.
Yeah, well, they were the central ones, and I guess also through this process of approval for the technological procurement processes and new technology development, I think that's also kind of like a way that it was coordinated, and that central body was always aware about what was kind of like going on in the different agencies. When the government's so big and so dispersed, it's very difficult to know what actually every single agency is. And there are probably other interactions that are happening, especially when it comes to academic um, institutions. No? Because we are aware also that like some of the universities have started with like their own software fabrics and looking at creating these links with open communities. But because they're also independent, some of them still get federal funding, but their legal statute or their legal figure makes them a little bit independent. Sometimes that also gets dispersed. But Mexico's a big country. We've got over 120 million people, a lot of states, a lot of big territory. So it's a little bit complicated sometimes to keep track of everything.